Just a short one, Madam Chair. I'm one of the authors of one of the bills on anti-political dynasty. Uh, First of all, I would like to thank the chair, Madam Chair, for conducting this hearing. It is timely, and we believe we really need this one. So, distinguished colleagues and fellow public servants, I am fully aware of the sensitivity surrounding this proposed measure. I come from a family that has participated in public service across different branches of government. I have relatives in Congress. There's two of us in the Senate right now. I do not deny that the fact, nor do I shy away from it. But public office is not a family inheritance. It is a public trust. The intent of an anti-political dynasty law is not to single out families, but to strengthen our democracy, leveling the playing field, and ensuring that leadership remains open to merit, competence, and genuine service rather than name or lineage. If this body, in its wisdom, determines that such law is necessary to advance these principles, we will respect it. More than that, we will comply with it. No individual, no family, no institution should be above the law. This discussion should not be about who we are related to, but about the kind of political system that we want to leave to future generations. One that encourages fresh leadership, accountability, and equal opportunity for all Filipinos who wish to serve. I look forward to a fair, thoughtful, and constructive deliberation on this measure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Erwin. At if I may say, mabuhay po kayo. Senator Kiko, do you have an opening statement? You have the floor.
Thank you. Magandang umaga sa kanilang lahat. Thank you for this hearing to our colleague, Senator Risa, the new chairperson of the Committee on Electoral Reforms. Kasama ang aking panukalang batas, may kabuang 6 na anti-dynasty bills ang naihain na sa Senado. Ilang kasamahan natin ang nag-uugnay sa patuloy na pag-iiral ng political dynasties sa mga hamon sa ating demokrasya. Kabilang ang hindi pagkapantay-pantay at mga suliranin sa pamamahala gaya ng elite capture, patronage politics, katiwalian at humihinang sistema ng checks and balances. Noong LEDAC meeting noong nakaraang buwan, nagsabi na rin ang Pangulo na gusto niyang i-prioritize ang naturang issue. Dagdag pa, matagal nang iniutos ng ating saligang batas. This coming February 2, 39th anniversary ng ratification ng Philippine Constitution. Inaprubahan ng 77% ng ating populasyon. Mula noon, dose-dosena ng mga panukalang batas tungkol dito ang na-file. Noong 18th Congress, nung ako ang chairman ng Committee on Constitutional Amendments, na aprubahan sa committee level ang isang anti-dynasty measure na sponsor natin sa floor. Majority of the members of the committee endorsed the anti-dynasty bill here in the Senate at that time. Nagkulang lamang sa oras. Higit sa lahat, sa usapin ng anti-dynasty, may clamor para dito. Batay sa Pulse Asia survey noong kalagitnaan ng Disyembre, mahigit kalahati ng mga Pilipino ang naniniwalang ang isang anti-dynasty law ay makakatulong sa pagtugon sa malawakan at systemic na corruption sa gobyerno. Malawakan, unprecedented, pinakamalaking corruption scandal sa kasaysayan ng ating republika. Perfect timing ito para ugatin ang mga problema, isulong ang mga solusyon, yung concentration ng kapangyarihan at kayamanan sa Pilipinas. Bibigyan puwang din nito ang may kakayahan at tunay na may malasakit sa paglilingkod bayan. Level the playing field, ika nga. bibigyan puwang ang ikangay new blood para sa new old problems di lang ng bansa, kung hindi ng ating buong mundo. Araw-araw, ang mayorya ng ordinaryong mamamayang Pilipino ay lumalaban ng patas para mabuhay. Sa bukid, sa karagatan, sa trabaho, sa opisina, sa negosyo. Subalit sa larangan ng politika, hindi patas ang labanan. Lalo na't pagbuong angkan ang kalaban ng iisa o iilang kandidato. Hindi ito makatarungan, hindi ito demokratiko, dapat baguhin ito. At yan nga ang layunin ng ating hearing ngayong umaga. Ayusin na at isulong at maipasa na ang makabuluhan at makasaysayang anti-dynasty measure. Salamat at magandang umaga.
Salamat, Senator Kiko. Attorney Chris, if we could continue with you. You started earlier commenting on the matters of degree, scope, and timing in terms of the 6 bills we're hearing here in the Senate. Ano naman kumbaga yung pwede nang pagsimulan? So we're going towards the house of this already. The minimum formulation that's still faithful to the Constitution's mandate. Another way of looking at this is, ano yung floor? Na kung saan, kung bumaba pa doon, hindi na talaga ito tapat sa hinihingi ng konstitusyon.
If you take a look at the proposals, it goes down to 2 degrees. Also, it does not include national positions, nor does it include barangays. Thirdly, if you look at the proposals, there is a provision in one of the proposals that if this takes into effect, once this takes into effect, those who are already sitting in positions are allowed to finish the term. In other words, if I hope I'm right in interpreting it, if somebody is sitting there on with the first term, and this takes effect, then that person or dynasty person can run for 2 more for 6 years. I don't think that's a good provision to on one end making it effective immediately, and then on the other side that you will reward existing elected people with the full term. So I hope that won't find its way into the law. The question is national. I think some people may find it objectionable to include that, because essentially when we say national, you're really talking about senators, right? And here, when it's if you say if your husband is a senator, then the wife cannot run in province, city, and municipality, and maybe including the barangay. I'm sure there are many people who may object to that. So we have to take a good look at that, whether 24 seats in the Senate should be covered by the prohibitions. But from my point of view, I'm sorry, but every time that's put to me, my answer is we have already suffered enough from dynastic clans. So if we're going to pass a bill, let us pass a bill that totally dismantles this feudalistic system, because one, it's already been said, there's a problem of corruption. We're really facing four problems as a nation today. The federalistic system of dynastic clans, the corruption that goes with it, and third, and I hate to mention this, that there are real questions about whether the Supreme Court really has independence, because elected officials get their what do you call it? Their system from sorry, get what's the word?
Senator Kiko mentioned mandate.
Yeah, from the people, but the elected officials get it from their independence. So we have a problem if the final voice in that system is not independent. And later on, if you allow me, I will tell you the cases that where I think that there is a real question as to independence. And the fourth that we face is again an attempt to revise or amend the Constitution, right? And here, at the head of it is always federalism. Federalism would just create 18 mini dictatorships in our country. I can give you the reasons why later on when in the discussions. But what I'm saying is we are now facing these four challenges in our country. And number one is the feudalistic system of dynastic families. So let's not finesse it or let's say, well, let's get a foot in the door. No, I think we should totally dismantle it.
Salamat, Attorney Chris, and also for mentioning that matter of some kind of a transition period within which to wean ourselves from political dynasties or wean the dynasties away from our electoral and political and governance system. That matter po of paano kung mayroong incumbent na. Once we pass the law, hindi ba dapat effective na kaagad yung ban or pagbibigyan pang i-serve out yung complete terms under the current system. So very important. At mamaya tanungin din po natin yung mga leagues ng ating mga local government units. Ano po yung insights nila sa tanong na ito.